Hello, let us start here with the topic on Intel 8086 microprocessor, architecture and pin configuration. Now first of all, we will see some of the important features of 8086 microprocessor one by one. It is the first 16-bit pipeline processor from Intel. It means that before 8086, all the processors from Intel were non-pipeline processors. And this is 16-bit pipeline processor. It means that internal data bus 16-bit, size of each general purpose register is 16-bit, and size of ALU, arithmetic logic unit, is 16-bit. That's why this processor is called as a 16-bit processor here. This processor is developed with HMOS technology in the year 1978. HMOS stands for High Performance N-channel MOSFET technology. It is altogether different from TTL technology which was earlier used. Now this processor, as it is stated as the pipeline processor, and it is a two-stage pipeline processor. There are two internal sections, bus interface unit BIU and execution unit EU. This processor outputs 20 bits of memory address. Hence, the total addressable memory space, that is equal to 2 raised to 20 bytes, and that is equal to 1 megabyte. Now one should understand that the size of address bus, that will define that size of memory space addressable, and this memory space addressable always will be 2 to the power n, where n is the size of address bus. Now this addressable memory space is always counted by using a binary system here. Apart from memory address of 20-bit, this processor comes with 16-bit IO address. And this 16-bit IO address, this defines total addressable IO space, that is equal to 2 to the power 16, that is equal to 64K devices. And of course the size of each of that device is 8-bit. In case if I want to have access of 16-bit devices here, then there will be 32K such type of devices, each of 16-bit in size. It means that in 8086 microprocessor I can have 8-bit device, or I can have even the connection of 16-bit device. Next is 16-bit external data bus, and this data bus is divided into two data paths. Lower data path D0 to D7 and upper data path D8 to D15. Now you can understand here that both the data paths are 8 bits in size. Next feature, memory and IO space is divided into two banks here, even bank and odd bank. This even bank is connected to the lower data path D0 to D7, and the odd bank is connected to upper data path D8 to D15. And making such type of memory and IO space in two banks here, it allows simultaneously accessing 16 bits of information under certain condition. Because of this, size of each of that memory bank, that comes to the 512 kilobyte, because total memory is 1 megabyte and it is divided equally into two banks here. Hence, the size of each of that memory bank is 512 kilobytes. Processor supports segmented memory with 4 active segments per task. And these segments are data segment, code segment, stack segment, and extra segment here. Data segment, it is used for the storage of data. Of course, the raw data or processed data. Code segment will be used for holding the code or set of instructions which are used for processing of that corresponding data. Stack segment will be holding that stack information. At the time of execution of stack related instructions like push, pop, or even that stack segment can be used for storage of return addresses in case of subroutine calls or in case of interrupt processing. And then the last segment here is extra segment, that is basically an extra data segment. Additional data will be stored here in some of the specific operations like the string processing operations here. We'll see the details later on as and when that time comes. Then the normal size of segment is 64 kilobyte. But there is a provision in case of 8086 processor where I can have exceptionally large size of segment, each segment that is of 1 megabyte. But that is used only in case of special situations, not in a normal situations. Next is processor uses 5 megahertz 33% duty cycle single phase TTL clock. 5 megahertz is the clock frequency which is optimum. 33% duty cycle clock. It means that within a single clock cycle here, 33% of that period, that clock will be at logic 1 and remaining 67% that clock will be at logic 0. Basically that duty cycle is 1/3 duty cycle. Then it is a single phase clock. It means that it is always above that 0 volt level on a positive side. Then it is a TTL compatible clock here. It means that the voltage of this particular clock ranges from 0 volt, that is for 0, and plus 5 volt, that is for active clock of logic 1. Then this clock is to be given from the external clock generator, and this clock generator which is used in the design is 8284 clock generator. It is external clock generator needed here. Then the minimum clock frequency, that is equal to 400 kilohertz. Below that 400 kilohertz, the operation of 8086 processor will be uncertain, ambiguous, and it is not recommended. It means that the clock which is to be connected to the processor 8086, it should be in the range of 400 kilohertz and upward up to 5 megahertz. Of course, in case of 8086 processor here, there are other frequency versions as well. 5 megahertz is commonly available frequency version. Other frequency versions are 8 megahertz and 10 megahertz. This processor supports 256 vectored interrupts. Interrupts are basically an event, a signal which is given to the processor in order to interrupt its current processing operation and to carry out some urgent task which is now required to be performed. And such type of 256 vectored interrupts are available in all in case of 8086 processor here. Of course, out of that 256 vectored interrupts here, processor supports only two hardware interrupts, is a general purpose interrupt request line INTR and a non-maskable interrupt NMI. And apart from that, processor contains a number of vectored interrupts here. The concept of vectored interrupt is whenever interrupt is received by processor, sensed by processor, it will go to a specific memory address which is called as a interrupt vector address. And from that interrupt vector address, that interrupt service routine will be executed, and upon execution that corresponding interrupt will get serviced. That is the concept of vectored interrupt here. Processor branches to a fixed memory address, a predefined memory address called as the interrupt vector address upon sensing or upon receiving that particular interrupt. And such interrupts are called as the non-vectored vectored interrupts here. Sorry, vectored interrupts. Processor, it contains total 9 flags, and these 9 flags are classified as condition flags, also known as a status flag, equal to 6, and control flags equal to 3. So total number of 9 flags are available here in that corresponding flag register. Now basically what I mean by flag, flag is a flip-flop having only two states. Set means logic 1, reset means logic 0. Condition flags or status flags, they indicate the result condition generated by the microprocessor. And such type of 6 flags are defined here: 0 flag, sign flag, carry flag, parity flag, auxiliary carry flag, and overflow flag. 6 condition flags. And apart from that, control flags are 3, which are set or reset by the user to control certain operation of the microprocessor, and these are basically interrupt flag, trap flag, and direction flag. We'll explore the function of each of that flag in detail as and when that term comes. This processor supports two auxiliary processor for better performance, namely Intel 8087NDP numeric data processor. It is also called as a math coprocessor, and Intel 8089 IO processor, IOP. Now these auxiliary processors to be connected only in the maximum mode configuration of 8086 processor here. In the minimum mode, such type of auxiliary processors cannot be connected. Minimum mode, it is for standalone operation of 8086 microprocessor alone. In maximum mode operation, along with that 8086 microprocessor, we can connect 8087 NDP in order to carry out some floating point operation as well in more efficient manner. So whenever processor 8086 comes across some floating point operation, subsequently that floating point operation will be handed over to 8087 NDP, and NDP will do it in a more better manner, giving the maximum performance. No doubt that particular operation might have been performed by 8086 processor as well, but at very low speed with very less performance. Then another auxiliary processor which can be connected here is 8089 IO processor, which can be used for IO data transfer operations. It is a dedicated IO processor where the data transfer operations, every activity will be handled by that auxiliary processor here, relieving that particular function to be performed by 8086 microprocessor here. So microprocessor can concentrate on general control, general data processing operations. 8087 NDP can perform its numerical operations, floating point operations, and 8089 can concentrate on IO data transfer operations. Then next is this processor supports two operating modes. One is known as a minimum mode and second is maximum mode. As stated here, minimum mode is uniprocessor mode where that entire design contains only 8086 as the single processing unit. Okay, there is no auxiliary processor connected here. There is no provision. Whereas maximum mode is a multiprocessor mode where along with that 8086 main CPU, you may connect Intel 8087 NDP for floating point operation or Intel 8089 IOP for IO data transfer operations. And such type of system is a multiprocessor mode here. It is in a maximum mode. We'll see the designs of that minimum and maximum mode configuration later on as and when that time comes. Then next here, this processor contains a dedicated instruction for processing of string, dedicated instructions which otherwise not available in earlier processor for performing multiplication, for performing division, or for performing BCD operations, especially unpacked and packed BCD operations. Now these are some of the dedicated instructions available here. We'll see set of instructions in a detailed manner whenever we go for instruction set of 8086 processor here. So these are some of the features of 8086 microprocessor, and equally those features are applicable to 8088 microprocessor. Now let me tell you that both 8086 and 8088 processor from Intel both are 16-bit microprocessors.